Level 1, the free one. The first drink you ever love is free. You're 22, 4 days into a warehouse job at Heartline Building Supply, and at 4:58 on a Friday, the forklifts go quiet, and somebody says the only word in this building with real authority in it, Riley's. The bar sits 2 blocks from the loading dock, close enough that nobody decides to go. You just get carried along. Kowalski, the floor manager, puts the new guy's first beer on his tab. Nobody wrote that rule down. Nobody had to. The glass is cold and the room is loud and you've had beer before. Parking lots, somebody's basement, warm cans that tasted like punishment. This is different. This one comes with a seat attached with a nickname by the second round, with Kowalski telling the story about the forklift and the pallet of grout like you were there for it. And somehow by the second telling, you were. And here is the part nobody says out loud. The part that takes you 19 years to say it works. 2 beers in the knot in your chest, the one you've carried so long you assumed it was standard equipment, goes loose. You're funnier than usual, quicker. The distance between you and other people, the gap you've spent your whole life shouting across closes to nothing. Whatever this is, it costs $6 a glass. And it fixes something nobody ever told you was broken. You do the math on the walk home because you're the kind of man who does the math. 3 beers plus 1 round for the table because that's how it's done. $29, you make $31,200 a year stacking lumber. $29 for the best 2 hours of your week is the best purchase available to you at any price. You will run some version of that equation for 19 years. The numbers will change. The conclusion is the part that goes bad. The second Friday, you buy a round back. Kowalski nods once. You'd have paid double for the nod. At the end of the bar, in the same seat every Friday, sits Denny, 54 years old, 26 years at Heartline. He drinks 4 at lunch and carries it so smoothly that carrying it is basically his job title. His hands shake at 9 o'clock in the morning and are steady by 10:30, and nobody at the counter ever mentions the difference. And it takes you 2 years to understand what happens at 10 o'clock. Everybody likes Denny. You notice nobody looks at him for very long. Rounds you learn are a credit system wearing a party hat. Buy when it's your turn, buy sometimes when it isn't. The ledger follows you the way a shadow does, and skipping your turn twice gets noticed because out here reputation is collateral. You already understand collateral. Your father ran his into the ground before the liver quit at 58. Your last clear memory of him is the driveway at 10 p.m. Headlights on the garage door, engine running, radio going, a man who made it home and couldn't finish the trip. He left you exactly 2 things, a wind-up watch and a thirst you haven't met yet. You wear the watch to work. It runs slow, 7 minutes a week, and you keep setting it right. And you keep wearing it because a man is allowed to love an inheritance and ignore what it's telling him. Saturday mornings arrive with a headache you wear like a receipt, and you're almost proud of it because at 22, even the damage feels like membership. Friday becomes Friday and Tuesday. Then the schedule stops needing names. You think you found a bar, you found a door. Level 2, the tab. The routine assembles itself while you're not watching the way interest does. 2 years in, you're off the forklift and onto the sales counter at $36,500. And the day has a shape now. Work, Riley's home. Not to get drunk. That's the version you'd argue in court. To land. The drinks are runway lights. 3. Most nights, 4. When the day was long. The day is often long. 1 snowed in January. Bored. You do something you won't do again for a decade. You pull the year statements and highlight every bar tab, every liquor store, every gas station 6-pack, $4,180. You stare at it. That's a used car. That's 4 months of rent. Then you do what the number requires. Decide the math is broken. Close the laptop and drive to Riley's. And the drive itself is the answer to a question you just stopped asking. Your savings account holds $61. You're not worried. Worry is one of the things the 3 drinks are for. You meet Renee at a cookout that summer. A coworker's cousin laughs like a screen door, drinks half a beer, and abandons it in the grass. You watch her not finish it the way you'd watch somebody leave cash on a sidewalk. You file it under personality. It takes you years to understand it was a species difference. On the 3rd date, she orders 1 glass of wine, leaves a third of it, and drives you home. And you crack the window and count streetlights and think, Mary, she's the brakes. She thinks you're funny. You're between drink 2 and drink 4. You're the funniest man alive. And you start scheduling your life around that window. Tolerance arrives politely and behaves exactly like inflation. 3 drinks, buy what 2 used to, then 4, buy what 3 did. Same feeling, rising price. So you cut costs like any operator would? 2 drinks at home before meeting anyone anywhere? You tell yourself it's budgeting. It is. That's the problem. You've started running this like a business and businesses grow. Gus at Corner Liquor starts reaching for your 12-pack while you're still crossing the lot. Friendly, efficient, a regular's privilege. Some part of you. Well, below the part that talks understands you've just been entered into a system of record. Riley's runs a tab for regulars. Settle up on Fridays and the first time your name goes on the clipboard behind the register. You feel something close to pride. You've been extended credit by a bar. It's the most honest loan you'll ever hold. At least this lender knows exactly what you're buying. Hangovers get a line item too. You call in sick twice in one quarter, unpaid $290 a day, and spend both days promising the ceiling you'll cut back. And the promise holds until 4:58. Denny finds you at the counter one of those mornings, watches you sweat through a lumber order, and offers the only thing he'll ever say to you about any of it. Eat something before, not after. Then he pays for his lunch beers and goes back to work. It's good advice, that's the worst part. At this level, all the advice is about how to keep going. Renee moves in that fall carrying boxes up the stairs. Hers rattle, dishes, picture frames. Yours clink. She laughs about it. You laugh about it. Only one of you means it. Level 3, the expense account. The promotion comes with a title, a territory, and a company card. And the card is the part that matters. Outside sales, $58,000 base plus commission, plus a mandate nobody phrases honestly. Take the contractors out, keep them happy. They don't pay you to drink, they pay for the drinks, you handle the rest. The distinction holds right up until it doesn't. Overnight, the thing you do for free becomes professional development. Steakhouse Tuesdays, golf beers at 10 a.m., tabs you sign without reading, $340, $520. Receipts that become reimbursements, that become your numbers going up, and your numbers go up. You're good at this, and the liquor is load-bearing. 2 rounds in, contractors tell you their real budgets, their real timelines, which supplier burned them last year. You close on the 3rd round. Your best quarter buys the ring. Once, twice, you round a tab upward, typing the reimbursement. $11 here, $14 there. Nothing anyone audits. What you notice is how little it bothers you, and you file that away too. You marry Renee in October. Open bar. You're one non-negotiable, and you called it generosity. You remember the ceremony frame by frame. The reception you remember like a movie somebody described to you. Her hair, a toast, your cousin's cologne, then a hard cut to morning. 11 hours gone. The first blackout of your life, and it happens at your own wedding. Renee says it was the best night of her life. You agree warmly in detail, working entirely from other people's photographs. You decide it was champagne on an empty stomach. The deciding takes 4 seconds. You're getting faster at that. Grace is born 2 years later, 6 pounds even. She grips your finger, and for 1 clean week, the knot in your chest dissolves on its own. No assistance required. And you think, there it is, the cure. The weekends, the thirst doesn't. It just learns to schedule itself around a baby. You're a good father in the mornings. That's not nothing. You hold on to it like a bank statement. Efficiency looks like this. Weeknights, you retire the $6 drafts and buy the plastic handle vodka. $13.99. $39 pours a bottle. 36 cents a drink against $6. And you run the unit math right there in the aisle. Genuinely pleased with yourself. That's the tell you'll miss for years. Nobody calculates cost per unit on a hobby. Denny gets let go that spring. 29 years and Heartline calls it restructuring. And everyone at Riley's buys him around, and he takes his same seat at the end of the bars.